which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, honorable city council members, to our mayor and clerk in their absence, to our city treasurer, our chief of staffs, our city attorney, administrative staff, audience here in the council chambers, and those viewing via our broadcast channel and YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting. Today is Monday, November 25th, 2024. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card located on the table in the back of the chambers and hand it to me, the deputy clerk. And at this time, we'll have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
We know that Councilman Barden is absent for this meeting. The record will reflect as such. Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
And Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Madam Chair, there is a quorum for tonight's meeting. Tonight's meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1 agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairpersons report, 5 mayor's report, 6 clerk's report, 7 treasurer's report, 8 public comment, 9 unfinished business, 10 new business, 11 is warrant, 12 communications, and number 13 is adjournment. A motion will be in order to accept tonight's meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept tonight's meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
Moved by Councilwoman Talley, supported by Councilwoman Abdo. Talley,
Yes.
Abdo,
Yes.
Roscoe,
Yes.
Wadsworth,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, City Council. Agenda item 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on Tuesday, November 12th, 2024.
Madam Chairman, I'm going to move that we approve the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on Tuesday, November 12th.
Support.
Moved by Wadsworth, supported by Roscoe to approve the minutes from the regular meeting held Tuesday, November the 12th, 2024. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Roscoe,
Yes.
Abdo,
Yes.
Talley,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, City Council. There are no special meetings held on Tuesday, November 12, 2024. There are no petitioners on tonight's meeting agenda. That brings us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Chairperson. I have no report tonight.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
I second that motion.
Moved by Roscoe, supported by Talley to support the chairperson report. Roscoe,
Yes.
Talley.
Yes.
Abdo,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Number 5 is the mayor's report, and presenting on behalf of the mayor is our Chief of Staff, Julie White-Tolko.
Good evening, the City Council, and thank you, Deputy Clerk, and to our listening audience and also those in the audience this evening. Before I get into the mayor's report, just a couple quick things I want to mention to you. First of all, watch your mailboxes. You should be receiving the latest edition of our quarterly newsletter. You should be getting that probably within the next couple of days in your mailbox. We do have some extras here in the hallway for those of you here this evening, but please make sure you take a look at that. That's going to cover events and activities up through February of this year, so if you would take a look at that. And then also the mayor wanted me to share some good news with City Council. As you're aware, there's been an ongoing matter as it relates to Van Buren Township and the toxic waste well. We were pleased to find out late Friday that the federal court has remanded that case back to the state court. So that was one of the things that we've talked about here with council, and so if you haven't seen that on the news, that is the latest update on that. So. And I think at this point, we'll have Mike share some updates from our own Vanessa Tolliver from the mayor's office on upcoming events.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Tolliver, and here are some events happening in Romulus. Santa will officially come to Romulus on Friday, November 29th, as we light the official Christmas tree in our district to kick off the holiday season. The event will begin at 5 p.m. with the kids' activity tent, food, hot chocolate, carriage rides, holiday vendors, and Christmas carolers. We will light the tree at 6 p.m. and Santa will be presented with the key to the city. Pictures of Santa will be available following the tree lighting. Join the Romulus Recreation Department for a magical morning of quality time with Santa and brunch with Santa. The event will take place on Saturday, December 7th from 10:30 to 12 p.m. at the Romulus Athletic Center. The cost is $14 per child and includes brunch, story time, a photo with Santa, and a special holiday craft. Adults may also enjoy brunch for $6 each. This year, Romulus will once again participate in Reefs Across America. The ceremony will take place on Saturday, December 14th at 12 p.m. at the Romulus Memorial Cemetery. Volunteers are also needed on the day of the event. Reminder, yard waste will be collected through the second full week of December. Thanks everyone, and remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, and or visit our website page for more information. Have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Vanessa. And if I could just encourage everyone to come out and enjoy the tree lighting ceremony this year. The committee has worked really hard to put this together. We've got a lot of fun activities for the kids. And they've even worked really hard in the downtown area to have just some kind of photo op areas, so you can bring your camera and take some pictures with your families. And of course, we'll have a very special guest who will be doing photos in the Kingsley House after the tree lighting ceremony. And we did get some detail this evening to City Council about the program and what time to arrive. And we do have carolers that will be there as well to help you lead some songs. And it's just going to be a fun night and a great way to kick off the holidays. So please do your best to get out there and enjoy it. And at this point, I'll go ahead and get into the mayor's report this evening. Item 5A with council's concurrence is a request to amend employee policy 17, non-exempt employees, and policy 18, exempt employees. And the motion would be to concur with the administration and legal counsel and adopt the amended employee policy and procedure manual policy 17 and 18.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and legal counsel and adopt the amended employee policy and procedure manual, policy number 17 and policy number 18.
Support.
Moved by Roscoe, supported by Councilwoman Abdul, to amend the employees policy 17, non-exempt employees, and policy number 18, exempt employees. Roscoe?
Yes.
Abdul?
Yes.
Wadsworth?
Yes.
Tally?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, council. Item 5B is a request for brownfield reimbursement agreement for the Romulus Distribution Center 2 LLC. And with your concurrence, it would be to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the brownfield reimbursement agreement between the city of Romulus and the Romulus Distribution Center 2 LLC, as presented.
To the chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached brownfield reimbursement agreement between the city of Romulus and the Romulus Distribution Center 2 LLC.
Support.
Moved by Tally, supported by Wadsworth, to approve the brownfield reimbursement agreement for the Romulus Distribution Center 2 LLC. Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, can we have Mr. Kraus come up and explain how this is a benefit to the city? Or if it is.
Thank you. Good evening, council. As all of you are aware, we do have a redevelopment, a brownfield redevelopment project that's going on in Ecorse Road. That was approved by this body here, both the agreement and the brownfield agreement for that. And Ashley Capital is underway, moving earth over in that area, starting to remediate the site in accordance with Eagle's plan. Eagle had the opportunity to receive additional federal funding, and that federal funding was put out to all the brownfield redevelopment opportunities that are through the state of Michigan right now. So conjointly between Ashley Capital and the city of Romulus, we applied for a grant through that program, and were awarded $1 million basically for that project. So at this point in time, the city of Romulus will receive that $1 million, and then Ashley Capital, as they perform different activities on that site that pertains to the remediation of the hazards that were on that site because of it being a landfill, The city of Romulus acts as the fiduciary to then distribute that money as the activities are completed on that site. So in essence, what it does for the city is it takes that brownfield agreement from a 25-year agreement and basically shaves a year off of it down to a 24-year agreement. So it reduces the overall time frame for that brownfield and gets that property back on the tax rolls for the city of Romulus sooner.
So, anyone else? So it'll be 25 years that they'll actually be paying less taxes?
Correct. That's what the original agreement was for, yes. And this reduces that by an entire year because of the additional funds that Eagle's bringing to the table.
So once the 25 years are up, what's the percentage? Do you have an idea?
As far as the amount of taxes?
Yeah. Or the percent?
It's 25 years out, so I don't know, I can't predict what the taxes are gonna be, 25 years from now, but it reduces the capture from 25 to 24 years, so we save a year on the program.
So will we get anything within those 25 years or just?
No, the funds are captured into that brownfield authority, and it goes towards the money that Ashley Capital is fronting for the project,
Okay.
for the remediation.
And so I was reading through this and it was saying something about if something went too far to the left that the city will pull out. What is that for?
I'm actually going to defer to the representative from Ashley Capital on that, so you can.
My name's Brett Stons. I'm with SME, and we're Ashley Capital's engineer on the project. To your first question, after the brownfield reimbursement is complete and all the eligible activities have been reimbursed, the projections are that the project will generate somewhere between $1 million and $1.5 million of new taxes each year.
Okay.
And so that would be what would be coming on the rolls. During the period of reimbursement, the way the brownfield plan was approved by the city of Romulus, there's a 10% pass-through of new taxes to the taxing jurisdictions, so that there's some immediate benefit to the taxing jurisdictions, which is not necessarily common, frankly, but it's of benefit to this project. I'm not totally clear on the last piece that you were referring to. I think that the loan that is part of that Eagle funding that Mr. Kraus had talked about is guaranteed by the developer. And so if there's any issue with the tax income or revenue, in terms of the development not generating enough tax income or revenue to cover the loan, because the tax income or revenue is the source for the loan, then Ashley Capital has to make whole on that loan amount. The way the Eagle program works is it requires a municipal entity as the conduit for the funding. And so these projects, when they're set up, go through either cities, counties, brownfield authorities, and then typically, as is the case here, the development entity then backstops the loan so that the city can act as a conduit and not be at risk for any repayment.
Okay, thank you. You answered my question. Thank you.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So, we get 10% of the property taxes once everything's said and done, correct?
Yeah, sort of immediately. So every year,
Yep.
Instead of the full reimbursement going to the developer for the eligible activities, 90% of what's eligible goes to the developer and 10% flows through to the tax interest.
And I think we talked about this before, but just out of remembrance, 10% is not 10% of what property taxes are now. It's 10% of what the value will be
Right.
after everything is developed and the buildings are there and so on and so forth. So it will be a good chunk of money. And also, that doesn't cover the personal property taxes, am I correct? Because you have
Right,
property
those are-
taxes and you have personal property taxes. So they're still gonna be liable for the personal property taxes once the buildings are up and you have businesses in there.
Yeah.
So, on top of, it's not like we're not gonna get any taxes. We're gonna get 10% of the value after everything's built, of course, and now. And then we're gonna get the personal property taxes on top of that, which we aren't getting right now because there's nothing there to bring in that personal property tax. So I just wanted to make that clear, that they're not free and clear, that there's still property taxes coming in, there's still personal property taxes coming in. So, it wasn't really a question, I just wanted clarity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's any more questions?
Yeah, any more questions or discussion?
If there's not, I'll make a motion. Madam Chair?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to concur with administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached.
I made that motion.
We did already.
I made that motion.
I apologize, I guess we got too far into that.
And Wadsworth supported it, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so sorry.
Okay.
Moved by Tally, supported by Wadsworth to, support the Brownfield reimbursement agreement for Romulus Distribution Center 2 LLC. Tally?
Yes.
Wadsworth?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, council. The last item under the mayor's report this evening is the Wayne County Airport Authority SCADA agreement. And with council's authorization would be to, in concurrence would be to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the agreement with Wayne County Airport Authority for the upgraded use of the city's SCADA software system and upgraded use of the cruise cloud-based HMI subscription with Wayne County Airport Authority and UIS SCADA.
Through the chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached agreement with the Wayne County Airport Authority for the upgraded use of the city's SCADA system software and upgraded use of the cruise cloud-based HMI subscription with WCAA and USI SCADA.
Support.
Moved by Tally, supported by Roscoe for the WCAA and CADA agreement. Any discussion? I would just.
You had a question? Yes, I can have Roberto come up.
Good evening, council.
Can you explain what this is?
Sure. So the city invested in a SCADA system. It's basically telemetry at certain pieces of infrastructure throughout the city. We have our pump stations. We have some of our subdivisions that the sanitary sewer operate on pump systems. We have a monitoring system at that site that tells us electronically what's happening. We also have it on the meters of the airport authority. So what the airport wants to do is they want to see only the data for the master meters around the airport, which we have no issues with. It would probably reduce and make us a little bit more efficient. Their professionals want to see what we see, and sometimes they have issues with water pressure inside the airport. They don't know what's going on. They can see if it's happening on our side of the system or theirs. So they are willing to pay for a cloud version of what we invested in, cover all the costs to go to the next software generation, which is the cloud version, and pay for the subscription on a yearly basis. So that's what this is here today.
Okay, because I hadn't seen it before, that's why I was like, what is this? I'm thinking it's about the drones or something, but thank you for explaining it.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, Tally?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadsworth?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, City Council, and on behalf of the mayor and your mayor's office staff, we just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief of Staff. Number 6 is the clerk's report. There are 2 action items under the clerk's report. Action item 6A, City Treasurer Stacy Page is requesting a 30-minute study session to discuss the quarterly investment report for Monday, December 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Both date and time are available for the request.
Madam Chairman, I'm going to move that we have a study session on December the 9th at 7 PM with the treasurer's office.
Support.
Moved by Wadsworth, supported by Roscoe, for a study session, a quarterly report ending September the 2024. Wadsworth?
Yes?
Roscoe?
Yes.
Tally?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, City Council. The last agenda item, 6B, is a public hearing request. Cooper Hotels, owners of property located at 8500 Wickham Road, has submitted a request seeking the city's approval for a 12-year tax abatement under Public Act 255 of 1978, which is the Commercial Redevelopment Act. It is requested that council schedule a public hearing on December 23rd, 2024 at 6:45 PM to hear comments and/or objections to the proposed commercial redevelopment district. The date and time are available for the request.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll make that motion to have a public hearing on Monday, December 23rd, 2024 at 6:45 PM on a proposed commercial redevelopment district for Cooper Hotels.
I second that motion.
Moved by Roscoe, second by Tally, for a public hearing request for Monday, December the 23rd, 2024 at 6:45 on proposed commercial redevelopment district. Any discussion?
Yes. Through the chair. I would like to encourage anyone who is against this or for it to come out. I've gotten numerous calls over the years that they are tired of city council giving tax abatements to businesses. I am against the tax abatement. I mean, it's an area that's going to be developed no matter what, right near in the airport district. And I've had numerous people complain to me about it. So I'm asking you to show up and to give your opinion and to let the council know how you feel about giving abatements to the big businesses around the airport. Thank you.
Any other discussion? No? See? Chair votes yes.
Chair, I don't think roll call was made.
That's it.
Moved by Roscoe, supported by Tally, to support the public hearing request for Monday, December the 23rd, 2024 at 6:45 PM on the proposed commercial redevelopment district. Roscoe?
Yes.
Tally?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you, City Council, and on behalf of the City Clerk and City Clerk staff, we too wish everyone a safe and pleasant Thanksgiving holiday. And that will conclude the clerk's report. Number 7 is the treasurer's report.
Good evening. I want to thank council for approving the study session. I know how much you enjoyed that. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone that is here today, that is listening to council administration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Number 8 is public comment. This is the portion of the agenda for those in the audience who would like to address the City Council. The rules to address the City Council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address City Council, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note, members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Madam Chair, we did receive 1 public comment card, and this is from Chris Dunn and representatives from the Avalon Metals Homeowner Association.
My name is Chris Dunn, address 35575 Abbey Drive, Romulus, Michigan. I do not represent the homeowners association. I'm here to speak with and on behalf of some concerned homeowners. first in addressing council and city administration. We're here tonight to call to your attention a very troubling issue in our subdivision. And what the issue is a trucking company has taken up residence in property next to and adjacent to some of these homeowners, actually in their backyard. And some of the containers that they have put in the back and on their property is less than 40 yards from their back doors and kitchens and patios and what have you. At this point in time, their backyards is absolutely useless. We're going into a holiday period where we have family coming over to some of that home, and they're cooking and their houses are steaming up and they can't even open the kitchen windows to let the steam out. And you're probably thinking, why? Well, the reason why is because this company has brought 12 containers, shipping containers, anywhere from 20 to 40 feet long. And they are housing dogs in the containers. The dogs are barking all night long. Some of the homeowners are not here. They're working right now. And they have came over and talked to me and complained about the situation. And they feel like they're handcuffed. Now, I'm gonna ask Mr. Ross, one of the homeowners who live directly behind the site, to come up and read your letter. This is a letter of good faith to the homeowners in the sub. And it's letting them know, because everybody is asking and they don't know who to call. They're asking what's going on, how can a company take up residence, there's no public hearing, how can they put down asphalt and smooth it out with a bulldozer without putting proper drainage on the facility? And how could they operate without putting sound barrier walls up to 12 feet tall? How could they do all these things? And we have no current recourse. Now, I want to clarify something before we get into the meat of this, and I'm going to have Mr. Ross read the letter to the Homeowners Association so you can see how we communicate with each other.
Mr. Dunn, I would just like to say this to you. The Pondas and some of the folks that live on Cambridge have already contacted me. I contacted the city. The building director went out there immediately and gave them a time frame to remove every piece of that equipment off of that property. Now, I know, I've been watching, it's still there. So he's also filed it in court, to take them to court. So the city is acting on it. It's not like they just don't care and nothing is happening. Things are happening. The city have taken action through the mayor's office and the building department, and I can say that because I live in that subdivision and I got a lot of complaints. So he will have to remove every stitch of that equipment off of that property. The building director gave him so many days. If it's not removed, the city will, the building director informed me, the city will go and remove that off that property. No, he brought the property. He didn't get no permits or anything. He just started dropping that equipment. So that's what's going on. It's not
Mr.
like
Williams.
the city didn't care. The city didn't even know until they was informed. So
Madam Chair,
Mayor,
can I comment? I'm sorry,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Just a quick, Tricia,
it's
did I hear you say that there were live animals inside these containers?
Yeah, they got dogs there. I mean, it's you wouldn't believe what's happened. You couldn't
All right.
believe it. Now, first I want to address what Ms. Williams
All right,
said.
I'm done,
You're
I'm done.
absolutely right.
Madam Chair,
The
if
city
I,
was contacted, and the
Mr. Dunn.
city did exactly what they were supposed to do. And that's in our letter. We acknowledge the fact that the ordinance department and the building department went out and cited them and gave them tickets and gave them warnings and asked them to vacate the premises. That's been 14 days ago. They haven't vacated, and we're gonna let I just want some of the homeowners to speak and let you know. We appreciate what
Mr. Dunn.
the ordinance department and the building department did. They did exactly what they're supposed to do, but we're in a quagmire.
Yeah.
We at a crossroads right now. They can't do anything else. And I guess what we are asking, and what these homeowners are asking is, I mean, how can we continue to do this and nobody's sleeping at night and they gotta go to work? They can't sleep. The dogs, it's over a half dozen dogs there in containers, barking. And yesterday, somebody came over in a big dually truck and sat out on a fence with a dog guarding the gate. You know, he's out there sitting on the fence guarding the gate. And then they clean out the containers and they throw the feces all in the grass behind these people's yards. I mean, and I get in my car today, I park my car on the street, I get in my car, I smell something, I said, I thought it was a sewer. And I smell this out there, and I said, why do we have to live like this? You know, and our concern is this. We know that the administration, which manages the ordinance and the building department, they did everything they were supposed to do, and more, because they keep going back out there. And we've seen the trucks out there with the flashing lights. They're doing what they're supposed to do, but they can't do no more. And we want, these homeowners here want some relief. And you need to listen to them.
Right.
Because, I mean, I can't express how they feel. They tell me, well.
You're doing a good job of it. You're
Yes.
doing a good job.
Okay, and I want some of them to come up, and speak on it, okay? These are the people that their house back right up to them.
First of all, what are you talking about? I'm confused.
Madam Chair, if I could just
Yeah.
provide an update from the
confused.
building director
Yeah.
before we go any further.
Please do.
Just
Please
because
do.
I've got, and I do know that you talked to the building director as early as this morning again, Councilwoman Williams. First of all, let me just say that what you're experiencing is not appropriate. It's not correct. This shouldn't be happening. Simply put, this was a situation where there was a property sale. Gentleman purchased a piece of property, thought that or attempted to purchase a piece of property, thought that he could just move a business in and do what he wanted to do on this property, and was actually, he does not own the property. And according to the attorney involved with the proposed purchaser, who's hauled all these trucks and things that you've been experiencing in, that purchase is not happening. The purchase agreement is null and void. They're not purchasing the property. In the meantime, they had moved a bunch of equipment and, yes, animals and things out there. And Mr. Dunn, I do appreciate that you mentioned how much time staff has been out there. Property owner has been cited. The purchaser, potential purchaser, has been cited. At the end of the day, this was a situation where somebody didn't look into and take advantage of their friendly zoning and ordinance departments to find out that what they wanted to do was not permitted in that area. It is not allowed. The potential purchaser, again, that purchase agreement is null and void, it's not happening, has assured the building director that everything that they brought on the property is supposed to be out by the end of the week. If that does not happen, then yeah, we got to go to the next steps, which is going to require court injunctions, and the city will have to have that stuff towed out of there, but it's going to be removed from there, sir. Now, as far as the animals, I will double check with animal control again, because I know they've been out there multiple times. But, you know, we apologize. They came in, and from what I understand, they were moving things in the middle of the night, you guys. It's not right. And so we've done everything that we can up to this point. And again, if they do not comply with the citations and the stop work order that's been issued, that will be our next step, will be a court injunction. So we apologize. You know, this is our city, and this shouldn't have happened this way. But from what I understand, you know, they just thought they could do this type of a business activity there, and they cannot. It does not meet our future master plan. This is not, you know, everybody has a right to purchase a piece of property and try to come in and develop it, in, you know, but within parameters. And this would never fall within that criteria based what's in that area. So, again, I know you've got other residents that want to speak, but I did want to give that update because we are on top of it and we are as frustrated as you are. This should not have occurred in our community. So, and it sounds like it all kind of happened pretty quick. So we will stay on top of it, and again, we're not happy about it either. So, and I'll continue to get updates back to council as we go through the next few days.
Mr. Ross?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Ross at 35700 Abbey Drive. And of course, I'm a concerned citizen, and I'm here with my neighbors who took the time out to come out to express our views, and I'll be very brief. One concern is property values. We work hard to keep our properties up, to keep maintenance on the exterior and the interior. When we sell the property, we don't want someone to look at our property and say, what's going on over there with those semis? And I heard some dogs barking. My wife and I, we worked too hard to buy that property along with our neighbors, to have our property values diminish because of this, and I appreciate everyone doing what they are allowed to do by the letter of the law and policies in the city of Romulus. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
To do chief,
I think I get the picture. I got the picture. I mean, this is, yeah. Okay. I think we got the picture.
If I could, Madam Chair.
Directly behind the
This is,
property. And we
okay.
didn't mention there was 12 containers,
Okay.
3 semi-tractors that's starting up all hours of the night. There's 2 earth-moving equipment and 1 bulldozer
Okay.
and a big truck over on that property. And they tore all the trees down because they want to expand that in front of some more people, behind some more people's houses. And one of the young ladies, she's gonna come up, she called the police at 2:45 in the morning. It's on her cell phone right now. She called the police and she told them that she heard a big boom, and she looked out her window, and he's dropping these big containers down on some asphalt that has no business being there because they don't have a permit to put the asphalt in there. And I hear a big boom, about 20 minutes later, I get up, I look out my front room, and this light is shining straight in my front room. Coming across the street, between 2 houses. Here's 2 big semis, and they're just running. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go back to sleep. All these people have to get up and then go and go to sleep. They ain't slept in 14 days.
Okay.
Good evening, Council.
good evening.
My name is Robert Hendricks. Not to belabor the point, but me and Lachey, we are directly adjacent to this noise. It's directly behind us, okay? It's started progressively over 2 weeks. Directly got worse. I first looked back, in back of my window, I saw 2 trucks. The next day, I saw 12 trailers back there, then dogs. I was planning to build a $15,000 deck in my backyard where I could relax. She has a beautiful patio on her backyard. It is completely undesirable at this point. It would make absolutely no sense. Her investment at this point is totally useless. I couldn't even consider making that investment. So we appreciate anything that you guys are doing. One point in me purchasing, building in that area, is we were both told that they would never develop that area back there. So I didn't want anyone back there, period. So looking back there and seeing this debauchery behind my home that I plan to retire in, it's totally disgusting, and I can't do it. I can't do it. Totally bring my values down.
I would also like to elaborate on what Mr. Robert was saying right here, that we had to pay a surplus premium in order to build our houses on that lot. So people who are across the street have the same feeling. I'm sure that they hear the same noise that we heard, but we had to pay extra to build our houses. And in the contract that we have with the title owners, it says clearly in the contract that there will be no development on that property. We paid a premium for the wooded lot, we wanted the privacy, and we wanted our contract abided by. So they are completely conflicted, and they are completely just going against what our contract says.
Okay.
What I can say, it wasn't 14 days, I think it's been maybe 10 that the Pondas and Trina Mitchell contacted me about the loud noise, the blacktop being laid down. I immediately contacted the city. I think, Julie, because we have an association now, and I'm the president. So what we need to do is write a letter to the city, because if it's been 14 days, I know pretty much everybody sitting out there. If it's been 14 days, it shouldn't be no longer delay of the city removing, and city attorney, you tell us if it can be done. They're not moving anything. I watched them all weekend. Every last one of those containers are still there. Nothing's been moved. So what can we do as a city to have a tow truck go and tow it off? Because evidently they're not paying us any attention. It's a form of disrespect and a disregard for the entire subdivision there and the city as a whole. So as the city attorney, what can we do, the city, to have that equipment moved off that property, especially since they don't have a permit, they don't own the property? It gotta be something. It shouldn't continue.
Excuse me, they're moving more in, they're not moving out, they're moving more in.
Well, let's hear from the city attorney. This is really,
Yeah.
I'm confused. I mean, how does this happen? I mean, this is the first I ever heard of it. And I've been living in the city for 23 years, so council member for about a year now. First I've heard of it. What the heck's going on here?
I hadn't heard of it until tonight either, but it is, we'll have to go to the local district court here and get an order to remove that equipment out of there, and then we'd have to hire a contractor to take it out of there, store it somewhere, and bill the property owner.
So can
Okay,
we
through
get
the chair, please, through the chair, for the listening audience, can someone expound upon what in the heck is going on here? I mean, they're saying there's trailers, they're barking dogs. I mean, somebody moving a circus back there? I mean, what's going on here? Julie, please,
So,
Chief of
yeah.
Staff, please help me out.
Just to reiterate, when this was brought
Please.
to our attention, I do believe Councilwoman Williams, you were the first one that did
Yes.
call on this. And I know, I
Yes.
think it was a Friday, maybe a week or two ago, we had PD ordinance, animal control out there then, because you guys were going through what you were experiencing. Because it all just kind of happened. And there were no approvals. Apparently, there was some kind of an agreement to purchase this property, which now is not going through. But the gentleman immediately, it was his intention, I believe, to open a trucking company on that site. Never checked zoning, never checked anything, just hauled in equipment and started doing work. And all of these things that these folks are telling you is what staff has found when they've gone out there. Again, I want to mention that stop work order was issued. The property owner has been cited for allowing this activity, as well as the potential purchaser was also cited for this. At the end of the day, you've had the experience that you've had. And now we're in the process of, we got to get it cleaned up. And unfortunately, being open and honest and transparent here, he's told us that he's going to have everything removed by the end of the week. If he does not, then yeah, we have to go through the process. You know, when we issue citations, we have to follow the due process. That is not fair. You shouldn't have to go to bed one night, wake up the next morning and find this out behind your home, but that's exactly what happened. That's why it is so important when people are looking to purchase property and develop businesses that they utilize your municipalities, because that could have been clearly stopped from the beginning. So this is where we're at, and it's unfortunate. It's unusual. I've worked for the city 30-some years, and this is a new one, but that it happened this quickly. But we will continue to get reports back from our building director. And what I wanted to mention, and I don't know if it's going to be through Councilwoman Williams as the Homeowners Association president, or Mr. Dunn, or maybe Mr. Ross or someone there, but the most important thing I can tell you is you're right there. So you're going to be our biggest eyes and ears, especially because a lot of this seems to be happening in the middle of the night. So you've got to keep us informed. If you see more activity going on out there, that's going to be the best way we're going to know. And that just helps us in our due diligence. But again, Mr. Wilson, to your question, when the building director talked to the gentleman sometime today, he had assured him that he was going to have everything moved out before the end of the week. But I will be circling back on those animals because I thought that the dogs had already been removed. So I will be checking on that.
But thank you, just to finish, if I could, and I don't want to appear to be ill-advised, but if somebody moves into an area that they illegally moved into the area and occupied the area without going through our protocols, without going through our ordinance, our city policy. I mean, if I break into a store, you're gonna call the cops on me. So and I guess we have the attorney here, just help me out, I'm a little confused. How are they allowed to stay as long as they are without having some type of enforcement action, if you will, from our enforcement department?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. As the person who's right behind that, over the past 3 years that's my home has been there, there's been various things parked on that lot during the past 3 years. A tractor trailer here or there, construction equipment from the road construction is parked there. I have no problem with them because they're fixing the road.
Okay.
Happy to see them, but it's been various things parked there, which I assume this was in the beginning, you know, because they were also working on the road. But then it progressively became what the mess it is now.
Okay, go ahead, Counsel, please. You were going to answer
Well,
that?
if I can, my question was, of course, this is a terrible thing, and we gotta, put our foot on the gas, but are these vacant lots that were gonna be built with homes? Or
Just vacant property.
where these trailers are going?
First, let me give you a little diagram of where it goes. You probably-
I know where you live, Chris, I know where you live.
You go down Wayne Road and turn west on Wayne Road, between that city bar and the entrance to Avalon Avenue.
Okay.
There's a lot in there.
Right.
Oh, wow.
My
It's two.
understanding that the lot is L-shaped, comes off Ecorse Road and turns left and goes.
And that's one piece of property?
That's my understanding of one piece of property.
All right, I got a picture of it.
Okay, now, the piece that runs over towards Wayne Road, in September, 1st of September, I called the ordinance department, because this lady told me that they were back there in her backyard, cutting down a bunch of trees, and they had this high-tech, tree cutting equipment, and walk up to the tree and cut it down, and chip it up in the dump. So they went through there and cut probably 30 or 40 yards of trees, left it open, our backyard is open. And in that process, she's got 2 flower beds on either side of the house. And all the animals at night runs over there and make that nest in their backyards and on their decks and patios. And her neighbor, it just so happened I went over and helped her cut her yard. And she got a flower bed, and I started weed whacking around, and rats just ran out running down the field over there where they had disturbed it when they come over in the yard. And then another lady that lived next door to the other lady, she showed me on how to ring doorbell. I can bring all this here to you, because they got foxes and possums and raccoons and all that stuff coming on her deck. I'm telling you,
I think we understand. I think we understand. I'm clear. I mean, we'd be here forever. Let's get a resolve here. We hear what you're saying, brother, but let's, through the chair, we need to get a resolve here. This is all great, but I think it's our responsibility obviously as a city to make sure that this issue is resolved, and enforcement, I think, is what we're talking about here, because we can talk to the cows come home unless we have enforcement. We have a date. We go in there and make some things happen in terms of legalities, of course. But that's why I'm deferring to you, Counselor. How do we expedite this?
In the zoning ordinance, the violations of that are a misdemeanor.
Okay.
So the fact that, but the property, this guy sounds like he was also told by the property owner that he was buying it from, maybe that he could do this, I don't know, to try to get a sale. So there might not have been any criminal intent at the beginning, at least, but now he knows he can't stay there. But to actually physically get him off there, in addition to the tickets that are still pending, would be to get an order from the court.
Okay.
Giving us permission to go on the property and do that. And like I said, since we don't have the equipment to tow away big trailers and things, we would contract that out to some company that would do that. And then it would become a lien on the property, the cost of that. So.
Okay, so that was my question. Just through the chair, please. So I think I heard you say this: the city is going to be responsible for capturing the cost of someone who's there erroneously?
The property owner.
Well, we would, in the first instance, we would have to likely pay the contractor to haul it off because they want to get paid for doing the job. So then we would in turn have to put a lien on the property and then try to bill the property owner for that cost.
Okay.
So to the city attorney, what steps can we take to get an emergency order from the court? I know it don't take no magic, but how long would it take emergency to get emergency order from one of the judges to get this done? Because 14 days, and now he's saying that he's gonna have it moved by the end of the week?
If I may, just because, again, Attorney Hitchcock was not aware of this, I just learned that we were still dealing with this earlier today. When I was speaking with Mr. Kemp this afternoon, as I've stated a couple of times, there have been tickets issued to the property owner, what was going to be the purchaser. So it's already in the court system, but that is the next step. If they don't do, and they have a timeline with those tickets, nobody likes to hear that, but that's a fact, they do. The next step would be then to go in front of the court, which is what already Mr. Kemp is intending to do, if that stuff is not removed. So it'll have to go back in front of the judge, and is it an injunction that we'll have to request? Is that correct, Steve?
Yep.
And that would be our next step.
So what do the animal control, the ordinance, what can they do to walk that property to make sure there's no animals in those containers or in the trucks? Because nobody should have to live with that.
No, and I'll be following up with that first thing in the morning. I know they were out on site. I think when you originally called, it was because the dogs were barking. I think the trucks and everything else was kind of the next thing that we heard was happening. So I will be speaking with them, if not tonight, first thing in the morning.
Well, and it's just not the 18-wheeler trucks, it's containers. So what are they
Right.
keeping in there? Normally, if someone is violating something, you would have the police to go and, and look and make sure there's nothing illegal going on. We need all of this going on.
PD
because-
was out there as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, but the containers they're not permitted. They will have to be removed as well.
Right, I understand they have to be removed, but, I know I spoke with the building department, I spoke with the ordinance, and almost 2 weeks ago, as they said, and it's like we are constantly giving them chances. And you're talking about these residents, I'm further down the street, so I don't hear what they hear or see what they see, but to hear the complaints, we shouldn't continually give him this kind of time. Probably don't live here, don't care about the city. It's a disrespect to the city and also the residents. So we need to push forward in our court system. That's why they're there. A city attorney, we look in the books and figure out what can we do to move this quicker. Because giving him to the end of the week, then he don't do anything, now we into another week, that's not good. It's not. And I'm sitting up listening, I've already complained. I've complained to the city, I complained to the building department about this.
Yep.
We need to do something.
And the police department, I was just standing to say that many calls I made to the police department, to the non-emergency line about the noise, late at night, early in the morning, 2:52 in the morning, and they were out there till 3:25 on the 15th of November.
I'm sorry, through the chair, you're saying that you've already complained numerous times to the police department?
Police department.
And can I ask you, what was the resolve?
I don't know, because I didn't come out the house.
Okay.
The first time was on November the 12th.
So, okay.
It was about 8:11 in the afternoon, and I heard the big noise when the first container or whatever the bulldozer was doing. And I called the police, and they said they would send someone out. And it was dark, so I couldn't see much of anything to tell if they got to him or not.
Okay.
And then the second time, it was 2:52 a.m. on 11/15, and I was awakened out of my sleep by a real loud boom.
Right.
And it almost sounded like something had crashed into the house.
Sure.
Because it really shook the house.
So have they, can I ask again, have they been cited for, because we don't need a system of jurisprudence to cite someone for noise pollution. I mean, somebody give a party, making too much noise, the police come out, they ticket them, if they get rowdy or they refuse, they take them away. I mean, this is kind of, what goes on here? I mean, if they got an issue there and obviously there's clear noise pollution. I mean, if nothing else,
Exactly.
it's,
Like an hour.
so, it seems like our police department would engage and follow the steps to, you know, to suppress noise at 2:45 in the morning, 2:45 a.m.
And the lights were shining, my bedroom
So that's-
faces the woods right there.
Yes.
And the lights were shining in real bright, so I couldn't see anything but bright lights shining in my window and hearing all the noise, and it went on for a long time. To the point, now sometimes when the train goes down, it alerts me, and I'm thinking something else is gonna happen so close to the house. Because you can see those trucks backed up in the back, and it's a little frightening. So if they press the gas hard the one wrong way, they could be in our back of my house. It's
Through the
really
chair.
scary.
Wow.
Through the chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rather than wait until the end of the week when they say they're going to move it, the city needs to come, I think we need to file with the court and end this. I mean, who's gonna?
Emergency injunction.
They say they're gonna get rid of it, but they shouldn't have brought it anyway. I mean, I wouldn't believe them.
I want to thank Mr. Wilson for, you know, kind of acknowledging what we're going through, and I gotta tell you, the ordinance department and Jeff Kemp doing a wonderful job. They communicate with us, tell us what's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen, but I think what bothers us is this. You go to somebody and you say, look, this is illegal. You can't have this here. You call my attorney, I don't care about that, you call my attorney. And then we got one of our neighbors on the trucking company. He says if he go up here in our city on Inkster Road in Ecorse, and he wanna park his truck, they want upwards of $150 a month. They got 12 of them things over there. You go out and write them a $200 ticket. If I was that company, I'd leave my stuff there, because I can pay you cheaper on the ticket than I can pay $2,400 to the truck stop. So, and that's reality, that's what the numbers say. It says that they don't care, they're gonna leave them there. It took them less than 48 hours to get all them containers there and bang up every night. And like it was suggested, that we have our corporate attorney go over and get emergency water, so we can get them out of there. Because when we bought the houses 16 years ago, a company called Pine Howler and Roll, those were the builders. We asked the question, Mary and I sit down there, and Mr. Ross and his wife sit down, and we say, how about that property over there? Are they gonna try to develop that? Are they gonna bring anything in there? And the answer was, they can't build over there. We said, well, why not? They said, they got some issues over there, and the city is aware of it, but they'll never build over there. We said, okay. They promised us that they weren't gonna build. Now we got somebody that comes over there, and they write their own laws. Okay, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna put some asphalt down, and we're gonna spread it out with a bulldozer. We're not gonna do what we asked Mr. Byron Butler. He came over and asked the city to get a permit to put asphalt, and they said, well, we gotta have 2 sewers, and they gotta tie in 2 drains, and they gotta tie into the water drain off Wayne Road there. He said, you gotta tie that in, and you gotta have a landscaping plan. This guy don't have to have nothing. He just drive up there and put some asphalt down, and rub it down there, and take a bulldozer, and all the water. I know it runs in this lady's backyard, the water running off, because it's elevated. That's the other thing, it runs right down her yard. And if you go in her backyard now, you could plant 3 rows of corn back there, because the moles are coming in and eat her yard all up.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I don't know if Mr. Ramsey, everybody said everything.
Yeah.
We appreciate you listening, but it's a serious matter, and if we could get corporate attorney to go over and get some kind of emergency order. We would appreciate it, because it's unbearable now. We waited 14 days, and it's unbearable.
Madam Chair?
Okay.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we go on record to to suggest that our city attorney heads over to the courthouse for the purpose of engaging in an emergency injunction to stop what's happening in Avalon Meadows.
I'll support that.
Can we be clear that we want every stitch of that equipment removed off of that property?
I think the
ASAP?
emergency injunction or emergency order would encapsulate just that.
Yes.
And dogs.
Okay, so go ahead, through the chair, I've made the motion, I think it
I
was.
support it. Let's take one step at a time.
One step at a time.
So, we have a motion,
Yes. Motion's on the floor.
Mr. Wilson made a motion that we, have the city attorney to go over to the court and, request, emergency, evacuation.
Emergency injunction.
Injunction to have that equipment removed off the property like ASAP and the dogs. Second by, Councilwoman Abdo.
Any
Roll
other
call.
discussion?
Pardon?
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson?
Any other discussion? If not, then,
I think we've been discussing them.
okay, roll call.
Roll call. Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Do we have any more comments from the public who would like to address city council? Mr. Miller.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And folks, I certainly hope you get some relief from that situation. Usually I come here in a different, different manner mostly. Sometimes my memory harks back to times, I've been here a very long time, I'm an old man, to things that happened within the city of Romulus. And I was watching television, and there was a commercial that was on, and it had to do with a piece of equipment that was capable of saving young people's lives. And I hearkened back to the time when a young man in the city of Romulus, while in the midst of lunch at school in the middle school, and I want to thank Councilwoman Abdo for having done the research. I forgot to write it down, but I believe his name was Jeremy Becker.
I have to look at my files again.
That sounds familiar though,
Yeah.
don't it? And it's a sensitive situation because during the course of his meal, as kids do, they were playing, and he ingested something down his windpipe, not his throat. They rushed to his aid, but they were unable to save him. Young Master Jeremy died at that time at lunch. So as you know, last year I brought you the information about button batteries for young people, ingesting them, the dangers of that. And this year I want to bring this to you. This device here is a device that's used to remove, and I believe that do you have them at the police department?
We don't have it at the police fire department because we have other ways of doing it.
Okay, all right, wonderful. But you're able to do that. In an emergency situation, this device, which is not very costly, is capable of saving a child. So I wanted to come here and talk to you about
whether the police department, the fire department, thank you so much for telling me that you have probably a more active way of doing it, yes. And, but if the police department, if they are trained to use one of these in an emergency situation before the fire department gets there, because when you choke, it doesn't take very long for you to expire. And many people are not going to do the other method of poking a hole in there and putting a pin in there to try to save their life. This device, which actually this one costs $29, that's all. And this is a cheaper version of one, which is about $100. And I would appreciate if you would get with the police department, ask them what their protocol is for it. Are they capable of doing it? The training on it, I think, could probably come through the fire department. So the cost would be marginal. It wouldn't cost very much. And we might see a repeat someday. I hope to heaven not. But if we do, a device like this might save a young child's life. And thank you so much for letting me talk to you about this. I appreciate it. If you'd like this, would you like this to show the chief, or?
I think we have some examples of it.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Follow up with both our fire chief and our police chief.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Council.
Thank you, brother.
Is there anyone else from the audience who would like to address the city council at this time? All right, seeing no one, Madam Chair, I request that we close out public comment. So number 9 is unfinished business. Number 10 is new business. Number 11 is warrant for approval is warrant number 24-22.
Through the chair, I'll make a motion, we pay warrant 24-22 in the following amounts. General fund, $436,916.17. Major street fund, $9,345.24. Local street fund, $30,152.63. Public safety fund, $151,050.64. Cable TV, $870.57. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $10,039.72. Street Lighting Fund, $57,259.25. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $109,416.11. Brownfield Development, $285. Oakwood SAD, $71.31. Tax Increment Finance Authority, $1,316,761.59. Downtown Development Authority, $5,569.66. Michigan Indigent Defense Fund, $756. 911 Service Fund, $838.69. Drug Enforcement State, $433.25. Law Enforcement Federal, $242.96. Library Fund, $26,507.08. CIP bonds for the court building, $734,625. E-course and binding capital improvement bonds, $904,000. Water and Sewer Fund, $838,050.06. Motor vehicle, $10,593.57. Technology Fund, $1,100.78. Retiree insurance benefits, $137,541.35. Revolving Fund, $2,825. Current tax, $15,569.19. Impressed Payroll Fund, $333,593.18. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $4,608.29. Totaling all funds, $5,139,022.29.
I second that motion.
Moved by Abdul, second by Tally, to approve the warrant 24-22 for checks presented in the amount of $5,139,022.29. Abdo?
Yes.
Tally?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes no.
Thank you, City Council. Number 12 is communications.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Just a couple of quick things. We do have the applications for Shop with a Cop. I know they are at PD applications, do we have them at the city? Julie, do you know, is it out there on the city as far as the Shop with a Cop that the PD is pushing?
Oh, I've seen it through social media and everywhere else,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay, so just know that it's out there, just a great program with our cops, and for kids for the Christmas season coming up, so, look out for those applications, or you can contact, PD. Also, we swore in, was it 5 new officers this past week? Police officers, so congratulations on that. We have 5 new officers they were sworn in this past week. And then just in talking about safety and police, I attended along with several city people. We had Romulus Community Schools had a safety and security symposium. It was a great event. Our mayor was part of the panel, Chief Faunus, Chief Chapman. There was another police officer there. Just a very, very good event. Just a great collaboration with the school and the city, talking about safety and security in the school district, and just the partnership with the city as well. Great event. I went in the morning session, and it was so many. They had all the kids come out from their classroom, faculty, everybody. It was such a great event, talking about safety and security. Good questions were asked and raised at this forum, and I would love to see that continue on periodically through the city and through the school district. So great job to our superintendent and the school board and everybody who pulled that together. It was a great event, and I was so happy to attend that. And that's all I have. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Anyone else? Anyone else? As always, Forgotten Harvest tomorrow, 10 to 12. Everyone's welcome. Thank you.
Are there any more communications from council? Hearing no more communications, number 13 is adjournment. The time is 8:43.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Wadsworth, supported by Roscoe to adjourn this meeting. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Sally?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Evening, adjourned. Okay. All right.